So I was just talking to my wife. We were reminiscing on when we used to live by Pittsburgh. We lived in this town called Zelienople. And I think the address was East Beaver Street, right, Jen? Was it 407?
Yeah.
I think it was 407, our address, East Beaver Street. It was a nice, listen, they fixed that home up beautiful now. But it was a beautiful neighborhood. You know what I mean? It was across the street. I mean, we didn't have kids at the time, but they had this big, huge trail, and it was a huge like play area, and it was just so beautiful for kids. I mean, but at the time we didn't have kids. We had our two dogs. At the time, it was our Rocky and Yogi, our two Shih Tzus. God bless them. They passed away. I miss them every single day. But it was so funny because I was calling it Zelian Nipple instead of Zelia and Opal. Like we would be in like the restaurants over there. I'd be like, I like this place, Zelia and Nipple. And she'd be like, Zelia and Nipple. My wife's like, it's not nipple. But anyway, we're in a restaurant. I forget which restaurant it was, but it was in the area, and we were at the bar. We were eating at the bar, me and my wife. Well, no, you were there too, honey. You forget. You went to the bathroom, I believe. Okay, she said she wasn't there. I don't know. Maybe I was there by myself. Anyway, I was talking to some guy who I guess was a local there, regular. I was just trying to make friends. I'm friendly guy, and he's like, "Look," he goes, "we're doing like a get together, like a barbecue." He goes, "Everybody comes to my house. We have a good time. We have great food, great music." And he's like, "Why don't you come over? If you're not doing anything." So I was like, "Well, when are you having the barbecue?" He said, "I'm having it tonight." So I said, "Where do you live? You live in Zelienople?" He goes, "I live in Evans City. I live in Evans City. It's right next door, the next town." So I'm like, "Yeah, sounds good." So now I'm thinking about it. Yeah, I called my wife. She was home. I was just there, probably getting a bite to eat and get. I was gonna bring her home something. And I was having a couple of drinks. It was a bar. So I called my wife. I'm like, "Jen, listen, we just got invited to a barbecue. Nice guy. He lives in Evans City." So my wife is a very big horror fan. I just want you to know, she loved her whole life. She loved like horror movies. And she's like, "Richard, she's like, Rich, do you know what Evans City is? Do you even know what it is?" I'm like, "I don't know, a town?" What is it? She goes, "That's where they filmed The Night of the Living Dead." She goes, "Are you aware of this?" I'm like, "Get out of here. Get the F out of here." I was like, "Really?" She goes, "Yes." And she goes, "People who live there," she's like, she's just freaking out.
Coincidence.
Well, you were just scared. You were
I
like,
just
"Look."
said, why would some strange guy invite you, a guy that's alone at a bar, to a barbecue at his
Okay, but you
house?
also mentioned Evan City. You
Yeah,
mentioned The Night of the Living
I know, but
Dead.
I didn't say the
You
people
were
there.
implying, all right,
Yeah,
she's being kind, Elizabeth. She was implying that we could be walking into a house like, and it's like
yeah.
Leatherface type of
No, no.
situation where we get knocked over the head. Next thing you know, you're in a basement and you're tied to a table, and a guy comes out and wants to take off
Oh
your
no.
face and wear your face. These things happen, right?
Yes,
So,
yes,
and
it
actually,
does.
Leatherface is a true story. I mean,
Yes, it
that
is.
really happened.
And gone.
So, whatever. I chickened out. I didn't go,
You were
but
like all excited.
I still kind of think to myself, like, what would have happened if we would have went? Maybe you would have never saw the Apefather. The Apefather would have been someone else's beat.